California taking aim at Amazon, opening a new antitrust lawsuit this week. It is accusing the tech giant of using anti-competitive contracts with its merchants, causing price increases across California and boosting Amazon's market power. Joining us now, California Attorney General Rob Bonta, who opened the lawsuit. Attorney General, thanks for being with us. I do want to start more broadly. We've been watching attorney generals and regulators bring cases and complaints against Amazon and other big tech for years. The market, their stock prices tell us that investors don't believe anything substantial will come from them. Maybe they think it's political grandstanding. What would you tell them, and why would this time be any different?
This is a unique in the nation, unique in the world case, where we are bringing for the first time causes of action of this type, allegations of violations of California's law, the Cartwright Act, the Unfair Competition Law. We have one of the most worked up and fact-specific complaints that we have ever seen in this space. So we believe this is a unique, first of its kind case. We are very confident in our case against Amazon. Investors and others can do whatever they wish, but we are confident in this case. We believe that Amazon has been manipulating the market, price fixing, violating the law, and we are holding them to account with this case.
Investors and others don't think this is unique, though. The D.C. AG filed a very similar case earlier this year, and it was dismissed on the grounds that it lacked sufficient evidence. What is different about yours, and what makes you think a judge will view yours differently?
It's entirely different. Entirely different causes of action, a different law, a different court, different complaint, far more thorough with its allegations and levels of specificity. We've talked to vendors and businesses. We have taken their testimony. We've talked to Amazon's employees. We've taken their statements. We feel that we have them very much on lock with respect to the case that we've built and the causes of action that we have. All you need to do is look at the case and the complaint and the law and the causes of action in D.C. and put it side by side with those in California, and you'll see that they are very different. I know it's a talking point for Amazon, but they're dead wrong on that. These are very different.
Explain to us then what's different.
Well, first of all, the Washington, D.C. case did not claim violations of California law. They cannot do that. We can. In California, with California causes of action, there is a very unique law in California called the Unfair Competition Law. That was not an allegation in Washington, D.C. It is a central allegation here in our case in California. There's a very specific antitrust law in California called the Cartwright Act. That is not something that was available in Washington, D.C. It was not claimed in Washington, D.C. It is claimed and is a central cause of action in our case in California. We did 2.5 years of workup and background and gathering of documents and talking to witnesses and taking their sworn testimony. That was not done in Washington, D.C. We have put together a very long, thorough, comprehensive complaint in California. That was not done in D.C. So they say that this is a similar case at their own peril. They can say whatever they wish, but the case, the complaint, the causes of action speak for themselves.
Attorney General, it's interesting. Historically, big players who are alleged to have monopoly power demonstrate that by being able to raise prices in their stores without consequence, even if prices are lower elsewhere, and still pocket that profit. But you're alleging that Amazon is improperly insisting that prices be low. To someone out there who's just observing this might say, well, how is that a bad thing for the consumer, A, and wouldn't the merchants' margins be higher if they can distribute their product directly on their own platform? Why is this bad for them if they build their own distribution outside of Amazon?
Let me be clear. We are alleging that Amazon's conduct, their market dominance, their market manipulation, their price fixing has led to artificially high inflated prices. So we're alleging the first thing you said, not the second. And the way that this is done is that Amazon requires exorbitant fees for their vendors, for their businesses to use their incredible platform, a platform where almost half of every dollar on the internet in America goes to Amazon, where 74% of Americans go to Amazon when they want to make a purchase. It is a must-have distribution channel for vendors, but they charge exorbitantly high fees, which in turn becomes higher prices for consumers. And then when these very same vendors seek to provide a lower price for the same product off of Amazon, like with Walmart's online platform or Target or eBay, they are punished for doing so. They are kicked out of the highly coveted buy box on Amazon's platform, or they're otherwise deprioritized on the platform, or they're forced to pay the difference of the money that Amazon sought to gain and had in their monetization calculations and lost, or they could be kicked off the platform altogether. So lower prices are being prevented from being offered to Californians, and Californians are getting hurt because this is an everything site, from school supplies to diapers to food. People buy everyday things on Amazon, and this has happened for a decade. So this is billions of dollars in overpricing over that time.
Amazon has also been spending billions of dollars on a logistics network that stretches certainly coast to coast within this country, taking losses on shipping in many of those cases and offering very quick, some would argue very quick and convenient delivery. So given that they don't seem to be racking up profits in the process of doing this, what's the argument, if there is one within Amazon's own financials, that they are charging exorbitant fees versus just building out infrastructure that they're making available to multiple other merchants to use?
The facts and the basis is the actual fees, the contracts that Amazon has with these vendors and these businesses. We've seen these contracts. We've talked to these vendors and these businesses. We've talked to Amazon execs. We know what the fees are. We've compared them to the fees on other platforms. They are exorbitantly high. They have incredible monetization techniques that they use on their website. They are making money. Let's not make any mistake about that. Let's be absolutely clear. Billions and billions of dollars in revenue every year, the biggest retail in the world outside of China. They could make prices lower for everyday consumers who are struggling to buy food and diapers and school supplies for their children, including backpacks and other things, but they're not. They're choosing monetization and artificially inflated prices instead.
Well, Attorney General Bonta, we appreciate you coming on to lay out your arguments for us. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Carl.
Meantime, Adobe inching from ending the week down 25%, but CEO Shantanu Narayan still bullish. Why he says the company's $20 billion acquisition for Figma brings immediate value. After the break.